The 2025 Polestar 3 has arrived at the one dealership in a major city near you. I know, Polestar doesn't have that many dealerships across the nation, but this is their first SUV, even though it looks a bit more like a high-riding station wagon. However, this new car sits on the same platform as the Volvo EX90, and if you've watched my video review of that car, then you know I didn't really like it all that much. So is this Polestar 3 more of the same, or is it different? Let's go for a drive and find out. Just like the Volvo EX90, the Polestar 3 uses two electric motors, one powering the front axle and one powering the back axle. Combined, they produce a little under 500 horsepower and 620 pound-feet of torque. But if you get the Polestar 3 with the performance pack, which this car has, then it'll develop 517 horsepower and 671 pound-feet of torque. Polestar says that it'll do the 0 to 100 km/h sprint in about 4.7 seconds. If you don't switch this car into performance mode, then the accelerator pedal provides gradual acceleration. It feels pretty much the same as it does in the Volvo EX90, so even if you put your foot all the way down, there's delay built into it so that the acceleration is gradual and smooth. But as soon as you touch the performance icon on the infotainment touchscreen, then the accelerator pedal behaves more like an on-off switch and you get that instant neck-snapping acceleration. So all in all, in straight lines, the Polestar 3 is pretty much like every other electric vehicle. But it's around the corners where this car is a bit different than others. The steering and the air suspension can be adjusted through the infotainment touchscreen, or again, just push that performance icon and everything firms up. Then through corners, this car feels planted and it's actually pretty enjoyable to drive. Of course, it is really heavy at over 2.6 tons, but the car feels planted through corners, and it's only when you push it really hard all the way up to its limits do you start to feel the weight actually hampering the driving dynamics of this car. And either way, are you really going to be pushing this car to its limits? I mean, it is a family SUV at the end of the day, not some high-performance hot hatch like the Hyundai Ioniq 5N. With a sizable 111 kilowatt-hour battery pack, the 2025 Polestar 3 can be driven for up to 506 kilometers or 449 kilometers if optioned with the performance pack. A single motor version should be coming to Canada later in the year with over 560 kilometers of driving range. Recharging the Polestar 3 can be done up to a speed of 250 kilowatts. At that rate, from a DC level 3 charger, 10% to 80% takes approximately 30 minutes. From a level 2 charger at 11 kilowatts, Polestar claims the battery can be fully recharged in about 11 hours. Like many other EVs, the Polestar 3 uses regenerative braking to recoup some electrical energy. It has a one-pedal mode with two different functions. Standard is like a traditional one pedal with strong regenerative braking, slowing the car down when lifting your foot off the accelerator pedal. This mode brings the car to a complete stop in a smooth manner. The other is a low one-pedal mode where it provides enough regenerative braking to slow the car down, but not as much as the full one-pedal mode. Additionally, you can choose to make the car creep or stand still when stopped through the infotainment system. As for the physical brakes, they have a smooth and firm feel. They provide plenty of stopping force on this performance version as they are supplied by Brembo and feature 4-piston front calipers with 400mm discs providing the bulk of the stopping force. Like many electric cars, the Polestar 3 has a very quiet cabin. The powertrain doesn't produce any noises, even when it's in the performance mode. Wind noise is negligible on highways. And yes, there is some tire noise, but it is a little bit quieter than in some other EVs. As for the ride quality, it is really good. This car does have the 22-inch performance wheels, but even so, it just smoothly drives over bumps. You do still, of course, feel every single bump that you drive over, but it doesn't feel rough or jarring. Now onto the inside of the new Polestar 3, and this is where things start to fall apart a little bit in my opinion. But first, starting off with the good stuff in this interior, the materials. They are environmentally friendly, and Polestar is very proud to show you that by the little badges on each front seat. These materials are nice to the touch and they look really good apart from the gloss black that's on the center console and on the door panels. As I'm sure you all know, this material easily attracts scratches, dust, fingerprints, and who knows what else. So if you don't take care of it, it's going to look really, really bad. The other good thing about this interior is that it is spacious. I'm 6'4" and I have plenty of leg space and plenty of headroom in these front seats. Outward visibility is equally good. I can easily see all around the car. The blind zones are not that big, and visibility out the back is actually pretty good. Now on to the not so great stuff about this interior, and the first thing that really pops into my mind when I see this interior is that it reminds me of the Volvo EX90, which reminds me of a Tesla. And that's because everything is integrated into this 14.5-inch tablet-style touchscreen. There are no physical controls apart from the volume and radio skip dial on the center console. Everything from adjusting the climate controls to switching to the performance mode to even adjusting the exterior mirrors, you have to do it through the infotainment touchscreen. And speaking of the exterior mirrors, you first have to select the adjustment in the infotainment touchscreen and then use the right hand capacitive touch controls on the steering wheel to actually adjust them, just like in a Tesla. And it's the same thing with the steering wheel adjustment and the head-up display adjustment. And as for these capacitive touch controls, they don't actually display anything when you turn on the car. You have to hover your finger over them and then it'll display on the little screen in front of the driver what each control does. On top of that, the turn signal indicator goes back to center just like it does in older Teslas. If you want to turn on pilot assist, you pull down on the right steering column mounted stalk just like you would in a Tesla. So this car takes a lot of influence from Tesla, but the annoying things don't stop there. If you want to lower the windows, there are only 2 switches on the driver door instead of the usual 4. So if you want to lower the back windows, you first have to press the capacitive touch button in the center and then use the 2 other switches to lower either the right or the left rear window. Furthermore, the door release handle is right in front of those 2 switches. So if you're at a stoplight, you could inadvertently reach for the door handle instead of the switches and open up the door. This is made worse on the other doors because they only have 1 window switch instead of 2. So your kids in the back could inadvertently open up the doors when you're again at a stoplight. Another annoying thing is that this car does not have a traditional key fob. It has one of these, just something that you keep in your pocket, and as soon as you walk up to the car will recognize this little fob and unlock. But this little fob is known to lose its battery charge very quickly, so instead you have to use a key card to actually unlock the car and then put it on the wireless phone charger to recharge the key fob battery or use the key card to actually start up the car. That is annoying, but another annoying thing is that what if you want to unlock the car from a distance? You can't do it because this doesn't have any buttons, as I said. So you have to physically give this key to somebody else who wants to take something out of the trunk, for example. And then what if they forget it on them and they just go about the rest of the day and you no longer have your key with you? So quite a few annoying things, and I'm not done yet. There's one more annoying thing that I don't like about this interior, and that has to do with the sunroof. It's a fixed piece of glass that doesn't open, and although it does have some UV protection, it's not the best. On hot summer days with direct sunlight, unlike today, you can still feel the heat from the sun right on top of your head. Even with climate control running, my hair gets really hot. There is an accessory shade that you can buy, but it's not a very elegant design. A better design would be what BMW has done with the iX. It has an electrochromatic sunroof, which at the push of a button can change from transparent to opaque. And that does a far better job of blocking out the sun's rays. So I wish that Polestar did the same thing with this one. So all in all, this is a very frustrating to use interior, but the materials are great and it is quite spacious. So now let's go check out the back seats. Back here, space is plentiful even behind my tall 6'4" driving position. My knees don't touch the back of the front seats, which unfortunately are made out of hard plastic instead of soft leather. But that's totally fine because again, they don't actually touch. Headroom, really good. My hair isn't brushing up against the headliner nor the sunroof. If you do sit in the middle seat, you're actually not sitting higher than the two outboard seats. Normally that is the case, but not in this one. So you have plenty of both leg space because of the flat floor and also plenty of headroom as well. Back here you do get a third climate zone and there are two air vents that you can adjust along with two USB-C ports. But as I said earlier, if you're not paying attention and you reach for the window controls, you could accidentally open up the door instead of rolling up the window. So not a very good design in my opinion. In the trunk, the Polestar 3 has 484 liters of cargo space up to the rear seats. However, Polestar also states that there's 597 liters of cargo space if measured up to the inner roof, as the rear portion of the roof slopes down for better aerodynamics. With the rear seats folded, the Polestar 3 has 1,411 liters of cargo space. All of these figures include the 90-liter storage space underneath the trunk floor. If equipped, the floor can also double as a grocery bag holder. In the front, there's a 32-liter storage compartment. The 2025 Polestar 3 starts at $96,000 Canadian, which puts it at around the same price point as other luxury electric SUVs such as the BMW iX or Mercedes-Benz EQE. This performance pack version starts at $103,200 Canadian. The standard Polestar 3 has some luxury features, but this car is best enjoyed with the addition of the Plus pack. As standard, the car has 8-way power adjustable front seats, which are also heated, eco-friendly upholstery, 3-zone climate control, wireless phone charging pad, and a power liftgate. Selecting the Plus pack adds a head-up display, Bowers & Wilkins audio system with 25 speakers, soft closed doors, power-operated steering column, heated rear seats along with a heated steering wheel, and heated front wiper blades. Other convenience features include ventilated front seats along with a massage function for those two front seats, Napa leather upholstery, surround view cameras, and various 21 or 22-inch wheel options. The infotainment system is displayed on a 14.5-inch touchscreen and it operates on the Android Automotive OS. It includes Google Assistant and other Google apps for seamless integration with your Google account, but wireless Apple CarPlay is standard. It does take a few taps of the touchscreen to reach certain submenus, but the icons are large and clear. Up to 6 driver profiles can be programmed, which then save various parameters of the car and infotainment system, such as the seat position, radio stations, and favorite apps. Speaking of which, you can download and play multiple apps on the touchscreen, including YouTube, but the car does have to be stationary for some of these apps to function. As for safety, the Polestar 3 is a safe vehicle and it can be equipped with a few advanced driver aids. With the Pilot Pack, it adds Pilot Assist and Lane Change Assist. Pilot Assist is not a hands-free system, but it does a well enough job of keeping the car centered on highways and performing lane changes, all while the driver keeps at least one hand on the steering wheel. Unlike the EX90, the Polestar 3 does not have a LiDAR system, but the forward-facing camera still projects an image of what the car sees around it, quote-unquote, which includes other vehicles, cyclists, and pedestrians. In the end, the new Polestar 3 feels very similar to the Volvo EX90. It's great to drive, spacious interior, great quality materials, and I'd even say it's better looking than the EX90. However, the functionality of all the different controls will really frustrate you. Granted, if you are coming from a Tesla into this, then you'll feel right at home. But for everyone else, having to use all those touchscreen controls or the annoying window switches or the capacitive touch controls on the steering wheel, it just really frustrates me. And I really wish that Polestar and also Volvo went back to using physical controls, because that is better luxury than just having a giant touchscreen. But that's just my opinion. What about you? What do you think of the new Polestar 3? And if you would like to know more about this car, I have a more detailed written review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner right up here. And as always, I will see you in the next car, truck, or most likely another SUV. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.